In this video, we will continue our presentation of Orderway, showing all the menus and their functionalities. The first button is an on-off switch. By default, it is already turned off. When you have finished all your configurations and are ready to start sending or receiving signals, simply click the button and switch it to the on position. Next to it, we have the settings gear. So here we have the general settings, TradingView alert. Important, this option will change depending on the reading platform, assets, Orderway plan subscription, execution accounts, and schedules. Let's focus first on the general options here. Reading platform. Before we continue, I'm going to step out here to make a comment. On the left side, it will always be the reading platform, and on the right side, the execution platform. In other words, here we are giving a local example. Soon, we will go deeper into this topic because Orderway can place orders both for local platforms and send signals via the web. This way, it can send to an unlimited number of readers. But we'll talk more about that in a bit. Going back to the settings, in the reading platform, I will choose the platform where I will execute the trades to replicate the signal. So here I can choose from profit to profit. I can also choose profit to MetaTrader 5, MetaTrader 5 to profit, and so on. You can make various combinations between the platforms. You can set up an alert signal on TradingView and execute it because you know that on TradingView, you can only trade manually. With Orderway, you can automate your trades on your TradingView and even replicate them to other TradingViews or other platforms. As we've already mentioned here, the possible combinations are numerous. For those of you who like proprietary trading desks, there's automation, but you know you can't install automation on the proprietary desk's profit. Here, you'll be able to easily send a signal from a profit where you have automation and execute it on the proprietary desk's profit type of execution. Now let's talk a bit about these two types of execution, sending the total quantity from the platform or sending only the difference from the quantity previously sent. For this, I made a slide showing that the platform on the left, as I mentioned, is always the reading platform, and the platform on the right is the execution platform. Here we have an example where the reading platform executed 5 contracts. Instantly, the execution platform also executed the same 5 contracts with one difference. The execution platform has an order O configured to exit with a partial, and this partial was reached. So it executed 2 contracts, leaving only 3 contracts positioned. The reading platform remained with the same 5. Later, the reading platform executed 5 more contracts, totaling 10 contracts. That's where the difference between those two options comes in. Remember that at this point, the execution platform has 3 contracts since it executed a partial. If you choose option 1 to send the total quantity from the reading platform, Orderway will read the number of contracts positioned on the reading platform and will match it on the execution platform. In other words, to do this, it will send 7 contracts. Since it already had 3, adding them up, it will be matched at 10 contracts, just like the reading platform. Now you have option 2, which is to send only the difference from the quantity previously sent. Orderway will disregard the contracts that are already positioned on the reading platform and will send the 5 additional contracts. Since the execution platform was already positioned with 3, it will add the 5, totaling 8 contracts. That's what these two options are for. Continuing on, single window, reading and execution on accounts under the same license login. Imagine that you have an account at XP, at Elliott, at Clear, at Genial. In short, you have accounts at several brokerages. You can't open the same profit on the same computer to trade on all of them. With Orderway, this is possible. If you check this option, instead of having 2 windows here, there will be only one, where Orderway will locate the reading ticket and it will be possible to open quick tickets, and in each ticket, you can select a different account, of course all under your name. In summary, with this option, if you have accounts at 5 brokerages, you can manually trade or run an automated strategy on one brokerage and automatically, instantly replicate it to the other 4 brokerages, with no additional cost for this. Language, currently it's Brazilian, Portuguese, and English. Start automatically. If you leave this checked and everything is configured, you just need to save and close and then turn on Orderway. Browser cache. By default, it uses a separate cache between platforms. What would be the difference between these options? Imagine you're using TraderView and want to automate and send to the same TraderView. You can use the same cache between platforms for reading and execution because when you open the second window, it will already use the data from the account you're logged into on that platform. Now, on the other hand, if you are using different platforms, it is recommended to use separate cache between the platforms. Another option as well, moving forward a bit here to show you, is this option, New Window. When you click, it will open a second instance of Orderway. Why is this important? Imagine that in this first instance, you're replicating the operation of one asset, for example, the mini dollar, or if you're trading Forex, the URT or USD, but you also want to trade other assets. So you can open another instance. On the same platform, you can configure other assets. And for that, in this case, you can also use the same cache between the reading and execution platforms. If the reading and execution platforms are the same, if the reading platform is the same but the execution ones are different, you can use this option here. And the same cache for all instances and windows will use the same cache for every instance you open and for all platforms. As I've already shown, this second option changes depending on the platform that's selected. We won't go into detail about this because that's a topic for other videos. So for example, if I come back here and select Profit, notice that it changes to Profit here. This is where I register the Profit account, the assets, which will also be covered in upcoming videos. Contracting refers to the period for which you've subscribed to Orderway on execution accounts. Just to be clear, everything we've discussed so far are examples of copying trades within the same machine. So far, we haven't talked about copying externally using the web signal. By default, it's already set up for 5 accounts. I'll click OK here just so you can see. So here on the left side of the screen is the reading section. And I can send this to 5 different profits. Here, it could be 5 profits registered to other people. What's the difference between sending the copy trade signal locally and via the web? Although both are practically instantaneous, sending on the same machine has the advantage of sending the signal locally without going through any intermediary. 5 windows are already available by default, but you can purchase more packages. Each package gives you the right to 5 more accounts and currently costs $10. And you can purchase up to 20 packages to operate 100 accounts, meaning that on the same machine you can replicate to 105 different accounts without needing to send the signal to any provider, avoiding any latency with everything executed locally. I'm going to show you now that if you're a trader, a professional who offers copy trade services with just one Orderway license, you can replicate to an unlimited number of clients. Of course, each client needs to have an active Orderway license, but you don't pay a single cent more. And finally, schedules. If you want to set up when your Orderway will send or receive orders, for example, I'll set it here for 9:05 and leave it until 2 o'clock p.m. In other words, in this case, my Orderway will work by sending signals from 9:05 and also receiving signals until 2 o'clock p.m. And if I select close positions after the end time, if it is positioned, whether positive or negative, it will close out all positions. I'll save and close. This is to refresh the page because inside Orderway, it's a browser that executes the actions. Here you can zoom in and zoom out. As we've already mentioned, you can open another instance of Orderway, and this button is to contact support. That's it, an explanation for each feature. Before we finish, just a heads up for the next videos. If you work with CopyTrade and want to operate on a practical, reliable platform that doesn't freeze, doesn't cause problems, and gives you no headaches at all, Orderway is your CopyTrade platform. Imagine you want to send your signal from Profit and want to send it via the web. So you put it here, look, web signal sender, I'll save it here. So this way, you'll have the sender ID. The person who will receive the signal later in the next videos will show this in practice. On the left side, they'll have the receiver ID, meaning you'll copy your sender ID and give it to your client, who will enter it into their Orderway. In the same way, the receiver will copy their ID and give it to you to add here under your clients. That's it for now. See you in the next video.